Good afternoon. Welcome to this March 11th, 2024 meeting of the Sacramento Regional Transit District Board of Directors. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Director Burr.
Present.
Director Budge.
Here.
Director Daniels.
Here.
Director Hume.
Here.
Director Jennings is absent. Director Kaplan.
Here.
Director Chalam-Churla.
Here.
And for the record, Director Chalam-Churla is serving this evening on behalf of Director Kozlowski. Director Maple is absent. Director Cerna is absent. Director Singh Allen is absent. And Director Vang is absent. And Chair Kennedy.
Here. Sorry. I thought you were going to say I'm absent.
With that, we have a quorum of 7 votes, and this meeting of the Sacramento Regional Transit District will be cablecast on Metro Cable 14, the local government affairs channel on Comcast, Consolidated Communications, and AT&T Uverse cable systems. This meeting is closed caption and the webcast at metro14live.saccounty.gov. Today's meeting replays Saturday, March 16th at 2 p.m. and Sunday, March 17th at 2 p.m. on Channel 14. This meeting can also be viewed at youtube.com/MetroCable14. Written public comment received by 1 p.m. was provided to the board and will become part of the public record. Members of the audience wishing to address the board should fill out a speaker card located at the rear of the room and provide it to myself or Adam. Once the item has been called, the additional speaker cards will not be accepted. The time allowed for public comment is at the chair's discretion. The timer will chime when you have 20 seconds remaining and then again when your time is up.
Thank you. Please let the record reflect that Director Cerna is present. And would you please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. That brings us to our consent calendar, 2.1 through 2.6. Are there any members of the board that would like an item taken off of consent or have any questions of staff at this time?
Seeing none, I'll move approval.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a
Unless
motion.
there's public comment.
We have a motion and a second, but before we take a vote, we do have one card for item 2.1 from Jeffrey Tardigia.
Board, some of you have already heard partly my comment is, and it's simply for the public, when they look at your action item for your minutes, how it reflects of what's going on and not having to go back to YouTube to look and compare it to see what your results are to what your actions are. And I just invite, like when others do other reports, is you just do a filed report, it doesn't explain to the public what is going on and what happened. And the first time I went and looked, I couldn't find where, realizing with Paul Hume, when he was absent at the beginning of roll call, and then later on when the people were here, and he was added in a roll call vote. Fortunately, I believe your clerk put on the note additional records on there that Pat Hume had joined the meeting after the meeting had been called to order. So I don't know whether that changed any stipulation, but I believe, you'd already met quorum before you did that. But it's just something that for public record, it's difficult to read by public action what is indeed you are accomplishing. But I enjoy reading the public action because it explains often what I missed in being here at the meeting that you actually did accomplish and get done. I would have raised the question about the parking revenue and whether that complied with other, should we say, areas, but that's for board members, I believe, that should bring up the factor of you have in there should we say, you paid for a parking structure, and now you are going to be deferring the cost, or if any improvements, you are paying for the cost, and if that's comparable. But anyway, that's the board members that should be doing that. Thank you. That's my public comment.
Thank you, Jeffrey. Also let the record reflect that Director Vang is present, and Director Vang, I've asked the other board members, but your rival, before your arrival, do you have any questions or anything you'd like to take off consent?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Then we have a motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Thank you very much. Takes us to public comment. I do have 3 cards for public comment. We'll start with Dan Allison.
Good afternoon. Dan Allison, resident of Sacramento. I'm here speaking for Sacramento Transit advocates and riders today, not for myself in this case. Ridership for the masses did raise the issue of whether or not the minutes from previous meetings contain enough information for the public. And one of the things I notice it does not contain is comments received through email. So I think those should be listed in the minutes as well. There's always a concern about detail versus summarizing things, and I understand why action minutes are valuable because people don't have the time to read through extensive information. But at the same time, if there's a received comment on an agenda item, I think it needs to be shown in the minutes, and they're not. Secondly, as some of you may be aware, STAR, Sacramento Transit Advocates and Riders, is opposed to the board composition decision that you made at the last board meeting. We feel that it decreases representation for the city and increases representation for the smaller cities that have a much smaller percentage of the population of the service area of SAC-RT, and we're very concerned about that. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Michael Bevins?
Hello.
Evening.
I just want to talk today about, well, first off, I want to say, after the last meeting, I realized that Florin Road, we're going to redevelop that, and that's cool. I made me think about it, and I suggest that our Swanston station, where I parked today, that we redevelop that, or have some idea for it. It's kind of a dead-end area. I don't think there's much ridership in terms of park and ride. Parking lot's usually empty, and it's surrounded by vagrant locations, I guess you would say, homeless encampments nearby. I think that'd be an ideal place for us to move to a homeless, use that transit-oriented development, but more for, upon the joke, transient-oriented development. You can have housing, that we have a housing crisis. You can, temporary housing, shacks, sheds, whatever, car parking. That seems to be, it's a parking lot, so maybe we can convert that, half of it, to people who are living in their cars. They can register and we can have it secure, of course. And that could be a option for those who are in between housing. It just seems like transit-oriented development is a good spot for that. It's not being used, I don't believe, very much as a park and ride facility. Anyway, that's about it. Thanks.
Thank you, Michael. Jeffrey Tardigia.
Yes, again, on the public comment that's not on the agenda, is the factor that I bring to the board, again, is you are right now have eliminated the means by which communication will go on. So how are you intending to do public hearings if the only way you are allowed is in this room, or when you may not be in the other room, or written comment? And as Dan brought up to you, the written comments have not shown up in the records. So for when we have the public hearing coming up for the budgets and the other, how are you going to be doing public interest comment? If you looked at the title and the other things, you will look at how many comments have been successfully made and been registered, which doesn't give you any idea of what public sentiment was about it, because I don't believe I've heard a summary after you closed out a public comment, public period. This is dealing with your Title VI and some of your other titles that you've done this year. I just bring it to your attention that there seems to be more and more of that lack. The other reason, when you had Zoom, I had no idea how many members were showing up, but I did through YouTube see whether you had 4 people that were watching this meeting. Consistently, I think you've only had 4 to 6 people that watch this meeting. Now, if you go on later on the week or everything else, you will see more people will view this meeting to see what's going on. I get comments about that, and I hope that you will make sure that the last meetings was listed up there in a means of seeing what is the strategic plan between now and 2026. I think it's important your board members were encouraged to get involved with that. I'm hoping that you get the public involved with that, because it seems like the public has not gotten various ideas of what's going on, and I will please with that.
Thank you very much. That takes us to item 7.1, an informational item, branding update. Deborah.
Good evening. I'm very, very excited to share our progress that we've been making to modernize the SAC-RT brand. And before I get started, I just want to share there's a lot of information in this presentation. So if at any point you need me to stop on a slide or go back to a slide or have a question, I'm happy to answer it. And I hope that you find it very beneficial.
I think you can count on that.
As some of you may recall, over a year ago in September 2022, we asked for feedback from riders, key stakeholders, community members, employees, and you, our board, to help with a brand refresh as part of our long-range marketing strategy. Today, we're informing you of the progress in order to move to the next phase of implementation. We thought the timing was especially important as we're getting ready to launch a new fleet of modern low-floor light rail cars on the Gold and Green lines and our Folsom 15-minute service frequency. But before we jump in, I want to remind everyone why branding is important, and this short video sets the tone for today's presentation.
A brand is much more than your logo or the color of your truck fleet. It's something intangible. It's what people think of you, but mostly on an emotional level. Great brands are focused. They stand for something. Great brands are not just seen and heard, they're experienced, and in a way that is uniquely theirs. A brand can have tremendous value and should be treated that way. Keep your brand healthy by being different, vigilant, and relevant. And finally, never forget that people, your customers, own your brand. Listen to them.
Okay. I also thought it would be good to share the history of the SAC-RT logo. In 1973, the first SAC-RT general manager, Bill Bourne, who sadly recently passed, helped design our agency's logo and colors, which were then stylized by a local artist. Now, the fun fact about its history is actually Director Cerno's mother, Evelyn, was the artist who worked with Bill Bourne on the very first logo, that one that you see in 1973. Also, another fact is that the logo is designed to represent the confluence of the two rivers, and the blue and gold colors were actually chosen because they are the official California state colors. Fast forward to 2006, SAC-RT hired a design team to help refresh the brand and provide graphic standards on how to incorporate the design into our brand identity. Since it's been almost 20 years since we last updated our design concepts, the time was right to take another look. Also, in 2018, as SAC-RT started to become more recognized nationally, thanks to Henry and our board's strong leadership, we added Sacramento to the logo because there are several national agencies called regional transit, and of course we want to distinguish ourselves. Then in 2022, we embarked on the branding study and took a small detour in 2023 from the project to celebrate our 50th anniversary with a refreshed logo, adding the double line and the established date as we celebrate that major milestone. Over the last decade, we've launched several services and programs with absolutely no consistency. As you can see on the screen, we have lost our direction, right? I think it's a pretty powerful slide. We lost our own direction and where we're going and applying our logos. So there is no uniformity between the service and the logo design, except maybe sometimes the color, and even that is a bit of a stretch. The slide really reinforces why we need to update the brand and graphic standards, and the goal is to not only modernize the brand, but more importantly, we want to make sure we get it as close as possible to the vision of our stakeholders, including you, our board, community members, employees, and riders. We are hopeful that we can launch it this spring or summer. Between September and October 2022, we partnered with Selbert Perkins Design, our contracted design team, to consult, research, analyze, and develop options for the future SAC-RT brand. The first step was to gather data by testing perception. In November 2022, we also held personal one-on-one interviews with stakeholders, employees, riders, and board members. Thank you to Chair Kennedy and Director Budge and former board member Don Natoli for participating in this process. After more than 450 responses and 8 one-on-one interviews, I'm happy to now share the case study highlights. 87% of respondents were actually able to recall what the current Sacramento brand looks like. This was an important first step in establishing if we should revolutionize or evolutionize the logo. If 87% of people are able to recognize the Sacramento logo, then that told us we should not make a major change to the design. It was clear that we only needed a brand refresh since our logo was well recognized. When I talk about evolution versus revolution, here are some great examples of evolved logos. All of these are iconic brands that everyone should be familiar with. The logos were slightly changed to modernize them. For some, the color did not change at all, like Pepsi, and they're so iconic that most no longer even needed their name in the logo, like Shell. 66% of our survey respondents voted the new brand should be an evolution of the current brand and not an entirely new vision. This supports the results of not making a major change in the design. Again, when the majority of respondents tell you they prefer blue and gold as brand colors, we know we should make a major shift. And I use the term gold, but sometimes you'll see the word yellow, but they're very similar. When asked about the iconography, what it should represent, connections, landmarks, and color were all rated the most important. The results of the initial 2022 survey findings indicated that all stakeholders are interested in a modern, evolved brand for our transit system, and we heard loud and clear that we need to create a cohesive design guideline for all our services and programs. Now the hard part starts, building consensus. What you want people to think about your product versus what they actually think about it. Make sure we hit the mark. After reviewing and internalizing all the information we received from the 2022 survey findings, we've been working hard behind the scenes with our internal and external experts to refresh the Sacramento brand. It's taken over 25 plus iterations and a lot of back and forth discussions over the year to get the draft design to a point where we felt we could share it with the public to test if we hit the right mark. So in January through February of this year, we opened a follow-up survey to ensure the path we were on is what the people want. As part of the 2024 survey, we also shared this short video featuring an evolved logo to participants to test the visual impact of the draft design. Since we heard in the first survey that people want the logo to evoke a sense of connection in Sacramento. We hope the logo evoked a unique perspective in what it means to each individual who looked at it. We know the history of the two rivers. However, based on the initial survey, we really know that the icon should stand for so much more. I'll now share the highlights of what we heard from, very good, over 400 participants in the second survey held earlier this year. On a scale of 1 to 5, with 5 being the highest in support, 61.7% said the new design represents an evolved brand that celebrates the Sacramento region. Participants were then asked if they felt the logo evolution is an improvement, and 72.2% said yes. We also asked about color again, and 73.6% wanted to keep the legacy gold and blue. As a separate request, Director Hume asked about renaming our light rail system as part of the rebranding efforts. So we did take the opportunity to test our blue, gold, and green line naming convention to see if the time was right for a change. Before I share the survey results, I did do some research and want to share how our peer agencies named their rail systems. This slide shows a mix of light rail, subway, and heavy rail naming conventions. A majority only use color, letter, or number. Only one, SEPTA, uses destination color and number to identify their rail lines. Also, LA Metro is planning a new light rail line that will refer to both the name and the line letter called the Gateway A line. We do something similar when we reference the direction of travel on our light rail lines. For example, we say blue line to Cosumnes River College or gold line to Sunrise or Folsom. Also, every head sign on our train displays this message as well. Now, here's what we heard from the public. Over 80% of the participants like the current light rail naming convention. However, public opinion is just one part of a strategy we need to look at. There are other factors in play, like cost. It would be a significant expense to replace the multitude of signage at 53 light rail stations, announcements on our systems, and all the operational reference materials like training books that cite the blue, gold, and green lines. I should also mention that we are currently in an active contract with Superlative Group to sell light rail line and station naming rights, all of which the expense would be covered by any entity that purchases the rights. With all that said, we do want to keep an open mind and revisit the naming system either through another survey once we can identify some good names to test, or as we get closer to implementing light rail extensions and our BRT lines. Before I wrap up, I want to share what has changed in the Evolve logo, which you now see on the screen on the right side. The logo symbol, font, color palette, and name were all adjusted to improve contrast and readability, which is very important. I also want to share that the final logo design will have various iterations and secondary color palette, including light blue. That can be used with or without the established 1973. Remember, that's our milestone, so we wanted to add that, depending on the type and size of the brand asset or collateral we're actually creating. I'll share some examples later on. All of this becomes the foundational element that defines SACRT's visual language. Think back to my earlier slide where all our different logos were placed and how confusing that is for a customer, especially someone new or someone visiting Sacramento. I would also like to now demonstrate how pattern, color, and font work together to evolutionize our brand with this short video.
At SACRT, our mission remains the same, moving you where you want to go, when you want to go. Since 1973, when we began service, SACRT has transformed, but our logo hasn't kept up with our progress. It's time for an evolution. Our brand refresh builds on our legacy and aligns with our future. More modern, more innovative, more authentic. Our new logo becomes the foundational element in a dynamic and contemporary visual language, providing clarity and consistency across brand expressions. Introducing the evolved SACRT brand. Welcome to the future of SACRT.
However, the logo design is not the end of our journey. The real value lies again in consistency. The reimagined brand will set the tone for our current and future initiatives, such as our website redesign, bus and light rail paint schemes, consolidated transit app, advertising, signage, and so much more. Here are some examples of branding using a consistent pattern language and updated font and color on letterhead, a business card, and an annual report cover. This is how it can be used in banners and signage, how we can use it in social media campaigns, and of course on apparel. I mean, we all love swag. I know people that would sell their firstborn to get a pen, honestly. We know that design concepts can be subjective and everyone will have their own opinion. However, our findings do suggest that over 70% of survey participants like the Evolve brand, and I hope most of you do too. In conclusion, a modern typeface, updated color pattern, revised logo icon, and refined personality will help take SACRT into the next generation. After all, I think it was Chair Kennedy who said this is not your grandfather's transit system. It's also important to note that to ensure cost effectiveness of our rebranding process, we are taking a phased as-needed approach, only printing and ordering anything with the new design as we run out of stock and any equipment or materials. I want to thank you again, the public and the board, for volunteering to participate in this process when we started the journey way back in 2022. Our next steps will be to complete the brand guide, which will include designs for bus and light rail services, as well as prepared training materials. Then we'll launch the brand and use the brand consistently. I'm looking at my marketing director. From that point forward, I'll now open it up for comments and questions.
First of all, great report.
Thank you.
And great work. And your marketing director's looking at you like, you know, you're her child, and she's, you know, very happy. Yes.
I just want to give kudos because a lot of people work very hard behind the scenes to make this happen. So.
Yeah, it's great. I think the first is Paul.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Paul Hume here, reporting for duty. First of all, great presentation, and I agree with all of the conclusions from the survey recipients, and I appreciate the effort undertaken here as a part of this. But I want to clarify what I was looking for, what I was suggesting, which is not what was represented here.
Oh, okay.
And in fact, I agree that we should keep the light rail lines delineated by color. In fact, I just saw an article. It was on a local artist here who has taken SACRT's system map,
the system map,
and done it in the style of the London Underground, or what. I mean, it's very cool.
In Sacramento.
What I was suggesting, rather, was that we come up with a catchier name for light rail in general. And so you have in San Diego, it's the trolley, and in Boston, you have it's the T, and in Chicago, it's the L, and in D.C., it's Metro.
And so light rail is a very clunky name for what it is and doesn't necessarily evoke something more fun and playful of what it's meant to do.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. We can test something, see what people refer to it as. That's actually how we ended up with SAC RT versus RT. That's how people refer to us. I mean, we listened to what people said and we incorporated it.
Good comment. Yes, Director.
So, going back to the slide where everything has a different title. So, how are you working all that out?
Well, that'll be the next phase. I wanted to push this through and make sure we're all on the same page and where we're going in direction, because I wanted to be mindful of spending money on moving forward and kind of changing designs. But that is the plan, is to make sure we have one consistent, and maybe it's we change a color slightly, but the name, the font will all be the same on all of those. We actually tested it out with our SAC-RT Go. And so that's the process that we're going to move forward with.
So, I do agree definitely with keeping the keeping all the rail lines named for colors, because I mean, like DC, how else would you keep them separate? So I'm not sure whether the primary graphic logo is going to be the one with just the gold on white or the gold on blue. As my comment back was the gold on white disappears, and it's not as easily visible as the gold with the blue clear spaces filled in.
And so it will depend on what we're actually printing. I don't know if you want to go back to that slide. I think it's slide 22 that might show it better on the white. So what you can first see in that slide 22 is that we definitely darkened the gold yellow color to make sure the contrast does work on white. It may not show up that well on the screen here, so I do apologize for that. But we did darken that to make sure the contrast, and it wasn't ADA compliance. We did test the colors.
Okay,
It's
so
not
like
that one, it's
like the
22.
The 2006.
Yeah, that's it. So it may not show up that well here, but even the blue is darker. We did test all the colors because that's very important to make sure they're ADA compliant.
Okay.
I don't know if that helps answer your question, but we did change the color.
Okay.
Is that it?
Thank you.
one more?
I just wanted to say that going out and doing the surveys and really doing the outreach and getting input from the public, I really appreciate it, and it's so important because so many times agencies or organizations, they'll come up with a name or a catchphrase and try to shove it into the zeitgeist of the community, and it doesn't work.
Agreed.
It has to be organic. For example, every time I see signs that say "Welcome to the K," I laugh because nobody calls it the K. So thanks for that. Yeah, I believe you. Yes, sir.
No, great comments.
It's a Southern California.
Really appreciated the going out to the public and getting the voice of the public in the presentation. So great job on that. Great job, totally. I really am impressed with what I'm seeing and where we're going. I think my question goes back to from 1973 to where we are today. What's that, 50 years? Did your information tell you at any point in time how often a brand needs to be refreshed? Like, what is the standard? Because I don't see any consistency from 73 to 201 to 206 to 218. I'm just trying to figure out what should we be looking at as far as refreshing the brand.
I would have to research that, but I'm going to look at Chile. I think because you've done a presentation similar. I would say close to 15 years. 10 years? Okay, 10 years.
Okay. So is there a schedule for us to be looking at that on a more consistent basis?
Yes, I would hope so.
And involving the
yeah,
public
so that
in
we don't
as
end up
well?
in that slide that was
There
a
you
big
go.
old mess. I'll call it like logo salad, but anyway.
Good. That's exactly what I want to hear.
Good. Thank you. Yes, Mr. Starr.
Thank you. I too am thankful for all the work that staff has obviously put into this. But as part of that work, was there any attempt to scour the region for other similar logos that could be confusing? 'Cause
Yes.
Just looking at Tri-County's bank.
I was just going to say tri-counties.
Yeah.
Although we had the logo first.
I understand, but the colors now are closer to Tri-Counties, right? If it remains gold and white?
Yes, but we changed the logo design so it's not filled in like tri-counties anymore.
Okay. Because I was just trying to be honest with myself, as I saw it, like, what's my first reaction? It's like, oh, it's Tri-Counties Bank.
Yeah, no, I agree. We did look at that. That was one of them. That's why we took some of the color out as well.
Okay.
Not to mention that people started to say it looked like earbuds, so
Yeah.
I've heard aliens.
yeah.
Or budding elephant profiles, too.
Yeah. It's what you want to see in it.
Anyone else? No. Thank you, Deborah.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Good work.
Thank you.
Okay, next item would be the general manager's report. Mr. Lee.
Good afternoon, Chair and the members of the board. Where's the presentation? Okay. So the picture on the screen was taken last month when we had the opportunity to participate in the 24th annual Rosa Parks event at the Capitol. We don't see the background of the Capitol. It was great to join our Vice Chair Jennings and Director Helm at this event. The next couple slide is about our federal updates. Last Friday, President Biden signed into the law our federal minibus funding package that avoids the government shutdown. The package incorporates the Transportation, Housing, and Urban Development Appropriation Acts, and includes the overwhelming majority of public transit investment authorized under the bipartisan infrastructure law. So transit money was not get cut. Additionally, I would like to thank Congresswoman Matt Sui for securing $1 million in the bill that will support the construction of those rails station. And also, thanks to Congressman Ami Bera for securing additional $500,000 for the station conversions. So both funds were secured in the final Appropriations Act. Then, next slide. As you say, in addition to passing the federal transportation budget earlier this month, Ms. Veronica Vanterpool was named the acting administrator for the Federal Transit Administration. She follows in the footsteps of a previous FTA administrator, a dear friend to SACRT, Ms. Nuria Fernandez, who retired at the end of last month, just 2 weeks ago. We also sent administrator a congratulatory letter, and she immediately responded within the same day. And this is her response here. Please extend, my sincere appreciation to Mr. Lee and the SACRT team for their support and congratulations. Both are very much appreciated. SACRT is very important to the Capital Region's residents, employees, economy, and environment. And FTA is glad to support the agency's efforts and initiatives. We are looking forward to working with administrator, and we have requested a meeting with her when 5 or 6 of our board members and the staff, are visiting DC for the Capital Cap trip. So on the state level, SACRT is sponsoring 2 pieces of legislation this year after successfully get 2 legislations done last year. Assembly member Stephanie Wen, along with the entire Sacramento legislative delegation, this is the first, the entire Sacramento legislative delegation all together has introduced AB 1924. which would expand SACRT's authorized service boundary to extend throughout the entire Sacramento County. The city of Galt has expressed strong interest in joining SACRT, and this is a necessary legislative step. The Assemblywoman has also agreed to accept the amendments for SACRT's board composition change as approved by the board 2 weeks ago. Also, last Friday, just 2 days ago, Chris and I met with Mayor Steinberg and City Manager Howard Chen, and both of them appreciate SACRT's regional governance structure and practices, and also they said it is fair for the county and the city to both have 3 seats on the board. We really appreciate that feedback. In addition, Assemblymember McCarthy will be introducing legislation today that would give SACRT the flexibility to bring back the super senior lifetime pass for fixed route service. Just to be clear, we are the first transit agency to do that in the great state of California. If nobody opposes that, then we will be able to do that next year, starting. The next, okay. To ensure all riders have a great customer experience, as advised by Director Sura last year, a couple months ago, SACRT has brought back the Mystery Rider program. After a competitive bidding process, SACRT contracted with an industry-renowned firm called A Customer's Point of View to provide 25 mystery rides per month with digital reporting. They have dozens of people, ride per, ride day. The initial feedback from the firm is that overall, SACRT is performing, quote unquote, very well compared to other transit agencies. This firm provides lots of this type of services for other transit agencies. At a future board meeting, staff will present a more detailed report on the progress. Okay. So this month, we are celebrating Employee Appreciation Day. At SACRT, we believe that it is important to express our gratitude and provide recognition for the unsung heroes who make our daily commute possible. I'm hoping the public can also help us in celebrating the transit heroes. Every day, our frontline staff, more than 1,000 frontline staff, goes above and beyond, ensuring that the journeys, our customers' journeys with SACRT are safe, efficient, friendly, and enjoyable. We got a comment from a constituent saying our scorecard, performance scorecard is about 96%, but there's no way customer service satisfaction will be 97%. That's true. We didn't perform 100% or 97, 96% to get 80% customer satisfaction, which industry-wide is actually hope around 70% in terms of customer satisfaction. So if you can, share your stories by sending an email to our customer advocacy team or sharing a story on social media with the hashtag Transit Hero. We will share your stories with our frontline staff on Transit Driver Appreciation Day a week from today. After speaking of frontline workers, I would like to highlight recently SACRT, in partnership with ATU and California Transit Works, relaunched our Partners Moving Forward mentorship program. I really want to thank all of our employees for their active participation. We hope this operator-to-operator program will create and strengthen a safer and more positive work environment. Our goal is to provide mentorship and the necessary programs to help position our operators for future success and to build a career here at SACRT. And that's why we have lots of longevity employees. Our staff turnaround rate was very low because they would like to stay with us for a long, or entire career or many years. And SACRT was also well represented by staff who attended the annual California Transit Works conference in Union City in Bay Area last month to help continue to foster this program. I think you have, okay. I also want to remind everyone that SACRT staff will be hosting virtual and in-person open houses for SACRT Go paratransit riders later this month. The dates for the open houses are on the slide. We have had a tremendous turnout at our past open houses. And earlier, I had the privilege of meeting with SACRT's Mobility Advisory Council, or MAC, Executive Committee. They play extraordinarily important role in the public transit industry, and also it is a very important advisory body to this board. We have built a strong, important communication, connection with them, and between SACRT and the key stakeholders whose interests are representing persons with disabilities and seniors. I just want to thank Chair Jeff Thune and the rest of the MAC Executive Committee members, which they're all there, for their encouraging feedback during the meetings and for working closely with us to improve the service. Beside this meeting, the MAC, they have regular meetings too. They helped us to address lots of concerns or questions and great suggestions, and that's why that's part of the win-win situation. They perform extremely well. So here we don't have to spend time to address those concerns, because those concerns already addressed in that meeting on that board. Next one. At the end, please allow me to conclude my remark in memory of SACRT's first GM, Bill Bone. Sadly, he passed away at age 92 on February 5th. He joined us at SACRT's 50th anniversary, and I had the privilege of taking him out to lunch that day with other past GMs. Bill dedicated 64 long years of his career to the transit industry and will be greatly missed. Please join me in a moment of silence to honor Bill's legacy. And we were trying to memorize him last board meeting, but the meeting was kind of dragged on, so we did not memorize him. So, okay, the last part. I would like to ask Lisa, our VP of Customer Satisfaction, to give a brief update on some customer concerns or comments shared in last board meeting.
Chair Kennedy, members of the board, I would like to address a few customer concerns from the previous board meeting. Mr. Tartagia had expressed some concerns over metal barriers that the city potentially located at the corner of 5th and L Street right in front of Golden One Center. We immediately sent over a bus supervisor to see if the onboarding or deboarding of buses was affected, and the bus supervisor deemed it wasn't. We followed up with Mr. Tartagia and let him know that, and then he expressed concerns about YOLO Bus and potentially other routes that SACRT has and that they might be affected. And then we utilized our city contract, Lieutenant Bullard, to reach out to the city. Those barriers are gone, and we found out the city isn't using them. Actually, it's Golden One Center, and they're doing it for crowd control. So they're not doing to affect drop-off or pickup or whatnot. So we'll continue to keep our eye on that and work with the city, but we have kind of seamless communication in that we contract with the city of Sacramento. So we've been able to handle that, and again, the barriers are gone as of today. Another concern that Mr. Tartagia expressed was over Miss Valenzuela's constituents and representation on the SACRT board. We are fortunate to have a regional board, as we all know, and members that collectively represent the entire city or county's jurisdiction when serving our board. So we are comfortable with that. And lastly, we had a comment about encouraging SACRT to incorporate more routes for school districts. This is something we continuously do, and we have eclipsed 4 million rides annually. So we will continue to pursue those relationships, and we are very proud that we have the first and largest unrestricted youth program in the nation, and we will continue to work hard to keep that and grow that. And that concludes my presentation.
And the students' ridership was like 1.5 million 4 years ago. After we implemented this program, now it's over 4 million ridership, which is just so amazing. We shared this with FTA. They asked us to send them some best practices summary for them to share with the industry-wide, and we did that last year.
Thank you. That's it? Okay. Any questions? I have a couple. Actually, one question. I'm assuming, I haven't read it yet, but I'm going to. The McCarty bill comes with funding?
My memory is no.
Okay.
Just give us flexibility because we have to legally do so with this bill.
Okay, thank you. And then the other is, as far as with the students riding free, just for my colleagues on the Board of Supervisors and all of my other colleagues in the region, this happens because of local funding from the different jurisdictions, and we see how valuable it is. So I hope as we're at budget season, we'll all advocate to continue this in the future. So.
Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you. All right. We do have 2 cards for item 8.1. Michael Bevins.
Hello again. Just a bird's eye view of the system. I just kind of member of Joe Public here. It looks like our regional bus system, I think, is inadequate in terms of just coverage, not so much frequency, but coverage. I suggest that when we purchase new buses, that we get doors on both sides, so we can utilize the left lane of all our major corridors and implore some bus stops into the left turn lane. You would lose one left turn lane in the median. It would become a bus stop. In the future, it could be a train stop. You'd still have a left turn lane, but one would be less. And you would use left turn lane. You'd exit off onto this bus stop in the middle of the intersection. And with this improvement, I think, you would have signal priority for buses, so when they come drop people off, they will have a signal to go ahead and go before the traffic on the right goes forward too. So it shouldn't hold up traffic too much. And if the bus stops on the other side of the traffic, the red light, everybody's stopped anyway, they can take their time. So it shouldn't be an issue. And I believe also incorporate this on the right lane. Your regular standard buses, we stop on the right, unload people. you should share that right turn lane with buses. If a bus is there, or cars turn right, they have to wait for the bus to leave. If cars turn right, the bus has to wait for that car to leave before it unloads people, and again, has a priority. It can go straight instead of turning right based on traffic signals for a bus only. They'll go straight before the traffic behind it comes along. Anyway, I think that's a two-tier system. The right lane, standard buses as we have now, cover everything. It's traffic, there's bike lanes on the right, there's parking into the side of the road, but in the left lane, it should be an express. You only stop at these major intersections with the bus on the left, and from that point, each intersection becomes a transit point. Anyway, thank you.
Thank you, Michael. Jeffrey Tardiglia.
Well, I would like to start off with on our previous commenter on there is I can see where for bus bridges that would be an interesting and a necessary consideration. It's something that more of you find out in the MAC board, and I will turn around and make comments about that through the MAC board, a number of things you have happen, and we have had I think, greater and better communication with staff in regards to a number of the issues that you bring up and have been brought here. And for Henry, I say thank you. I mean, some years ago, I reached out to Omni Bera saying that there needed to be more transportation dollars and got him, I believe, involved where we've, shall we say, benefited from some of the effects of him getting in there and making sure that in transportation dollars at the federal level offers some advantages and some pluses to us here in Sacramento. Before, well, we worked with Chris in there, it was with Doris Matsui. We'll see what the next level of changes that next take place and happen. You are partly in regards to dealing with now I'm going to jump to the 5th and L Street. That location has more than 12 bus stops an hour, which means every 5 minutes that location might have a bus there. That's not totally true, but that is the 38, the 30, the 62, and the 88, the 86, and the 142. And each of those, though they're half-hour buses, that means at that location you have all of that. And that is why in the past I have spoken to the issue about how many buses are there and the fact that we have cars that want to make a right turn on the 5th Street very much in front of. And as you firmly found out, it was DOCO that was providing a stop. And my time is up. So any other further things I have to make or say, yay, read the comments.
Thank you, Jeffrey. In the future, if you could keep your comments to the item we're discussing at the time, that would be fantastic. Any questions or comments from the board? Ideas, communications? Yes, sir.
So I have a quick question regarding the Mystery Rider program. Is that meant to provide feedback from the public as they're riding on our buses and trains, or is this something different?
I think that's the purpose. Just try to get the feedback from our customers through kind of like independent third party, and actually those. Go ahead.
If I may, it's an independent undercover person basically that takes photographs, and so they don't necessarily communicate with the public, but the operators that they're riding on the bus or the train, they don't know that this person is working in this capacity. So the goal is that they kind of take an overview of our safety. They look at if there's trash or there's different situations regarding boarding or deboarding, and then we're going to evolve it to all of our modes of transportation, SacRT Go, Smart Ride. We started out with Big Bus, Elk Grove, and Light Rail, and in the next month or two, we're going to transition to all modes. So it's just basically an independent assessment with photographs and really good documentation on their experience.
It's a secret shopper.
Yeah.
Very, very much appreciate that because I think as we're looking for ways to increase ridership and inspire people to ride on RT once again, this is a good handy approach, and having some sort of like study or some sort of data to show things to help us make some curtailments along the way or help make some improvements. This greatly helps in having that mystery rider program. So thank you for explaining that to me.
Thank you. Mr. Serna? Nope. Okay, thank you. Anybody else?
Oh, this is the moment directors makes the comments.
Yes.
Oh, okay. No, I want to thank the project going on in Folsom. I know it's a very busy street, Folsom Boulevard, I think the busiest street in Folsom City, and giving the assurance that it is going to be completed on time. That's a big deal, for Folsom. I just want to thank, the SACRT team. And also, Chair Kennedy, I'm not sure how the practice of this board is. Our first executive general manager passed away. Can close this meeting in the memory of that great man, William.
Thank you for that.
I'll definitely request that.
You're reading my notes there, Mr.
I'm so sorry. Okay. We do that in City of Folsom. We want to make sure to recognize those great people. So with that, this is my first meeting here. You guys are awesome. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It's great to see you. Anybody else? All right, then with that, we will adjourn in the memory of Bill Bourne. Thank you.
We can do a resolution based on his work.